This moment you tuned in with the Backseat Freestyle.
Hosted by your boy, Money Machine HB.
Yeah, man. This is another episode of Backseat Freestyle, man. It's an honor for me to do this episode today, truly, man. I got an author, I got a songwriter, I got a producer, I got real pimping, man. Listen, we know him from New Jack City, man. We know him from trespassing, man. We know him from surviving the game. We know him for being the longest tenured actor in this game, man, in television history, and one of the few gangsters that's been blessed enough to be able to live to tell, man. I remember being in first grade, and it's a funny story. I remember my teacher asking me on the first day of school. She was like, kids, what have y'all been doing all summer? And I was like, man, I've been at my grandparents' house all summer, but I learned this new song. And she was like, what's the song? And I told her, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. So, instantly, I ended up getting sent to the corner. And I remember standing in the corner thinking, like, damn, man, this nigga Ice-T done got me in isolation. This is the craziest shit ever.
It's a great story.
And it's amazing how shit come around full circle, man. Listen, man, we here today, man. We getting y'all Ice-T, man.
In the streets to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket where at least $1,000. Gold on my neck, my pistol's close in hand.
What's up, player?
Hey, man, what it is?
Love is love. Love is love.
Indeed.
Respect.
Indeed.
Respect.
Speaking of blessed and highly flavored, go shop for that merch online so you can be blessed and highly flavored too, man. I'm talking about we got everything from the book bags, the t-shirts, the socks. All you got to do is use the promo code BLESSED to get a 10% discount for a limited time only. Because if you rock with Backseat Freestyle, you know you blessed and highly flavored. So what is you doing, crazy, man? This your boy Money Ace talking to you. Man, it's an honor for me to be here today, man.
Yeah.
Like, truly. So, man, you just got your star on Hollywood. We're going to dive straight into it.
Let's go. Let's go.
You finally got that star on Hollywood last week, man. I'm sorry, about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You know, on the 17th. And, yeah, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would ever get a star. You know what I'm saying? I'm not somebody who got into this business thinking I was going to get accolades, Grammys, all that old bullshit. You know, my life wasn't really aimed at show business when I started, you know. So to get a star right now is mind blowing. And, you know, my boys had to really bring it to me. I wasn't taking it serious. They like, nigga, you brought a star back to South Central. Like, we don't get those kinds of accolades, you know, and you put in the work necessary. I think the key is to get it, when you get something like that, you don't want it to be contested. You don't want somebody to say, why he getting it, you know? Indeed. So to get it, it was an overall 100% people saying, yeah, Ice deserves that star. So I'm very honored now that I do have one on Hollywood Boulevard. It's kind of player.
That's real player, man. When you received a star, like, what was the feeling like? Was it more of a feeling of gratitude, or was it more of a feeling of reflection?
Reflection. It was weird for me. Like I say, nowadays, you know, young kids, they start off wanting to be celebrities. Like, they start young. My daughter wants to be a singer, and I never wanted to be a singer or a rapper. If it wasn't for rap music, I could never got into music because I can't sing. I don't play instruments. So a genre dropped that made it possible for me to get into music. But prior to that, I was hustling. So I thought that I was going to be the biggest gangster player, hustler, drug dealer, whatever. And I was sadly mistaken because I really didn't understand what that entailed in the real world as far as making that a career. You feel me? So when music kind of saved my life, it detoured me and got me going in a different direction. But to get a star or nah. Like I think some people sit up right now and say, one day I'll have a star. Like, that's something they aspire to do.
For sure.
Not me. It was not in any way something I thought I would eventually get. So when that happens, it's really a blessing because it's something that just happened, you know?
Indeed, man. That's heavy, man. I mean, during this whole journey, what do you feel like the most valuable piece of advice you've been given?
That we not, as black people and ghetto kids, we not limited to the hood. That there's so many other options out there for us, but you know, the hood has this vibe that says You know, why you going to college? You ain't gonna get a job. Why you doing this?
Right.
You know, get this fast money. Drop out of high school and get this money right now. A lot of times we have to because of the problems in the household. Maybe there's not enough money coming in there, so the boy has to go out and get that money early. I understand that. I was there, but the theory that that's all we're limited to do is break the law is a mind fuck. You know, the same energy that we use to break the law, if we turn it at something legit without a penitentiary penalty behind it, we can be successful. You can be successful. I could be successful. You look at 50 Cent, you look at Jay-Z, you look at Puffy, you look at myself, you look at Snoop. All of us came right out of the mud. It can be done, but you got to get that mentals. You got to aim that hustle at something different.
For sure. For sure. I mean, at this point, after being in the game for over 30 years, I mean, what's the biggest motivation? It can't be the money at this point. What do you feel like it is to get you out the bed and going every day?
Yes, the money.
The money.
I'm not a billionaire. I'm not Dr. Dre. You know, I don't have as much money as some people may think I have. You know, I got some toys. I'm comfortable. But you know, I got kids, I got family members, I got other people around me. Like one time I was doing something, they say, can you donate to charity? And I'm like, is all my friends being broke a charity? Does that count? You know, so I hand out a lot of money and I help people and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think to lie and say, no, I'm not motivated by money is ridiculous. You know, of course, I still got to eat it. It's funny, I'll tell you a story. I took 100 people out to dinner.
That's charity.
My friends, and I took them out. And so the owner of the restaurant came up to me, said, I'm the owner, this, that, and the third, and take pictures of my daughters. I said, well, you left one thing out. And he said, what's that? I said, this is on the house. You know, you didn't say that. And he goes, well, this is a business. And I think that you got to understand that.
So
this is a business, you know, and this is my business I've chosen, you know, whether I'm entertaining, whether I'm making music or whatever. So yeah, I want to receive a profit from it. Now, if I got to a point where I felt that I had enough money not to work, what is that number for me? I don't need $1 billion, but I still have fortunately created a life where everything I do I enjoy, including this. So I'm at a point where I'm not doing nothing I don't want to do. Let's say that. And that's a gift.
Oh yeah. That's a blessing, bro. I mean, talk about coming into the game at a point where it wasn't a lot of people where you could point at. I mean, the rap game.
Any game, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of people that you could point at and say, yeah, I know him and he's a millionaire, and I know him and he's a millionaire. Like, you came into the game where you pretty much was breaking barriers.
Yeah, when I got in the game, you know, my boys that I was hustling with basically dissed me, kind of like some of them, like, why you doing this, nigga? You better come get this money, nigga. We over here doing this and that.
I can imagine.
And nobody had even bought a car yet. So they were like, why are you fucking with this rap shit? But I knew deep down inside that our days were numbered in low digits. Like a lot of the cats that I looked up to, they were getting life sentences. And, you know, when you're in the game, there will always be people you admire, right? When you see them take a fall, you got to ask yourself, am I doper than them? Am I slicker than them? Like, the nigga I thought had it tight, right, he's under. So I had to just humble myself to say, man, look, man, it's just a matter of time. And one of my boys, Rich, taught me a long time ago. He said, man, when everybody in the street knows your name, so do the cops. So, you know, I was trying to get out, and I went for rap, and I bet on a startup company. I didn't know, you know, I didn't know it was going to be this, but I bet early, got in when there was not that many rappers. You could literally buy every rap album that was out at that time. And I rode that first wave.
Man, you caught it, man. I mean, talk about putting out that cop killer and the controversy. And the controversy that came with that, man. Like, that was that I can recall being one of the first true gangster albums.
Well, Cop Killer's body count. So Body Count was me deciding I was gonna do heavy metal. And I've been on tour with Public Enemy, and we would go over there and the kids would mosh, they would slam dance and shit off of PE. I said, man, I'm gonna make a rock band. So I came home, one of my best friends, Ernie C, was a guitar player, and we put together Body Count. And I thought Cops was fair game, so we made a song called Cop Killer. Rock bands have been doing things like that. Man, the shit hit the fan. We went on tour with it on the Lollapalooza tour. And then the Fraternal Order of Police out of Texas decided I was the problem. And they went after me on an election year. And next thing you know, I got the president, the vice president, everybody after me. I was Public Enemy #1 for a while. And this was back in the day when they were attacking Luke Skywalker. Hip hop, people don't know, but hip hop had wars. We fought for a long time, especially you from Atlanta, down in the Bible Belt. Just cursing, you could go to jail down there, So the whole theory that now what goes on in hip hop is just how it is. No. There was fights for that, And Body Count was one of them. And Cop Killer.
Cop Killer, man. Indeed. I mean, one of the most common answers that I received during the course of doing this podcast, I ask people to kind of reflect on their journey and just talk about, their path from starting to where they're currently at the moment. And one of the most common answers I receive is that, man, I wish I had embraced the moment while I was there more. Do you ever look back at that part of it and wish you embraced it more? Or do you feel like you did?
I did.
Cool.
I did. I enjoyed every moment of the ride. See, I think when they say they wish they had embraced the moment, it might have happened fast.
Yeah, for sure.
If it happens fast, it's hard to catch it. But mine took a while. You're talking to somebody been in the game 30 years. So, my growth, hip hop, 6 consecutive gold and platinum records. So I had a long time where I was in that world. I had a chance to make mistakes, recover from it. So I was in that zone for a long time. And now doing television, you got to remember, I've been on Law and Order 24 years. So if you're 23, you have no reference point to my musical career. This is how my musical career was. Pretty much I'd done making records like I was. I still do features and shit like that. But but I just did work with RJ Payne, Rapping Forte, Rod the Rugged Man. I still get it in, but it's not like my main source of income.
Right.
See, when you're a rapper and you're making albums, that's your main source of income. So you have to put out an album every 1 or 2 years. But now I don't have to do it like that. So now I have the luxury to do it when I want to.
Man, blessings, man. Big blessings. I mean, talk about just being one of the first rappers to ever come into the movie industry and play a serious role. I think before New Jack City, we had Chris Groove, we had the
breaking movies.
And the people actually in movies being themselves. But you actually stepped into New Jack City in a whole different character. Actually, the opposite of what you really are. I mean, speak on that. Were you fearful stepping into that situation?
Hell yeah. Well, I was in Breaking. I was called Featured Rap Talker because they didn't even know what a rapper was, And when they did the breakdance movies, I happened to be in that club where the producers said, "We gonna make a movie. You gonna be the DJ. You could be the rapper. We'll use these kids." And that's how they made that movie. So I was kind of like in there rapping as they danced, But then when it got to do New Jack City, I got offered the gig, and I'm like, "You want me to play the police? And I gotta wear dreads. I got a perm, like I was on some other shit." And I was scared. And the album, New Original Gangster, was coming out. But my people, I always go to my street cats, the motherfuckers I love and I grew up there. It's like, nigga, if you don't take this opportunity. I remember some girls, I used to go get my hair done because I had a perm, and the girls in the shop was like, "You niggas out here complaining about no opportunities. Y'all niggas say you got to do this because they ain't white man this. You getting an opportunity right now. Now, if you turn this down to be in movies, you a real live sucker." You a real life sucker. What's the problem? Well, I got an album, Original Gangster. Do you hate the police, Ice? No, I don't hate the police. See, one thing I try to let people know, a lot of niggas ain't gonna get this, but I don't dislike police. I dislike bullies and racists. Right. I don't give a fuck if they got a badge or not. If you have a badge, fuck you. You understand? Because honestly, you took an oath to serve and protect, so no one else really took an oath to serve and protect. But the criminals I was involved with, we looked at the police as an opponent, not the enemy, the opponent. So say me and you was selling drugs, let's say hypothetically. We know it's illegal, so why we mad at the police? They the opponent. We just smarter than them. We got stash spots. We gonna outsmart these motherfuckers. And if they catch us, we gonna cuff up. We gonna play law and order. But we're not mad at the police. Truthfully, the illegality of what we doing creates the margin. If we selling coke and it's not illegal, it's not worth anything.
That's heavy.
See? So in other words, we understand we have to work under this bubble of illegality to make money. So they not the enemy, they're the opponent.
Right, for sure.
Peak game. So when it's time for me to play the police, I'm like, I can play a motherfucking police. I done been jacked by the cops. But the fans understand that. They not really reaching what I just reached with you. They don't reach that. They like, oh, well, you playing it. So I said, it's just risky. I did it. The fans loved it. They gave me that. They said, Ice is acting. We know, we know what this nigga. And then also, it was a point in my life where I said, you know what? I can't really care about the fans. All this real about my real niggas that really fuck with me. They know what's up. And they was all like, nigga, if you don't do this movie, you a sucker, fool. We trying to get paper. So I did the movie, and that opened up a whole nother door for me acting. And soon to follow, you see Will Smith, Queen Latifah, Ice Cube, everybody, Tupac, everybody started acting. And that was a new lane for rappers.
Man, broke the barriers, man. You broke the barriers with that one.
But I was scared.
For sure.
You understand? Because you're risking your whole career. Like, I got a great career over here with doing albums. Should I step over here and take a risk and maybe do a bad movie and fuck up everything?
Right. And one of the things I commend you on, like you'll see actors, play a certain role, and you'll identify them by that role that they played. Like Tisha Martin. Is that Tisha Campbell? Shit.
Yeah.
She always be Gina. Like, no matter what she do, it's like she'll always,
even after Empire,
it's like she'll always be Gina, man. It's crazy. And it's certain roles that other people play like that just sticks out to you. Like,
well, to some of this generation, I'll always be a cop. Because I believe that because they have no reference point to me prior to it. They have no reference point, so their brain is like, ever since I was a baby, he been on TV as the police. So fuck them. I don't give a fuck. They say what they want. You know what I'm saying? I'm as far from a cop as you could possibly get. Trust me.
Indeed. Usually, I look at interviews with actors, and they'll always talk about that one role that they might have turned down or they wasn't available for. Is it any role that you look back that you might have been offered that you wasn't able to get to?
Yeah. I had, nothing big though. I got a chance to be in Training Day. I had a chance to be in, I actually think Dre got my part in Training Day. But would have been a cop again. I also had a chance to be in the Purge movies. Different movies that popped up, but nothing major. No Spielberg shit I had to turn down. And that's only because I've been on Law and Order and the schedule didn't permit it. But nah, no regrets in that field.
Just kind of shed light on that transition of going from an era of hustling as a means to get off of the radar to the game eventually evolving to social media being a part of your hustle.
Let's start like this. I was taught from older cats to me that anything that you do illegal should remain a secret.
Indeed.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it unless we are in confidence. If me and you as hustlers, we make sure wherever we gonna talk about our hustling or whatever, It's private. It's off the record. Ain't nobody wired, because we doing something that really could send us to the penitentiary for the rest of our lives. So the theory of actually getting on social media and talking about it is so contrary to that whole get down. I just
Totally.
It's just like, I don't get it. Now, the most of the time the hustler would fuck up by being flashy. He buys a Bentley. He does some things that bring him on the radar. But actually just getting on the internet and talking about it, or telling people, or letting somebody bait you into a conversation where you now are dry snitching on yourself, and it's at an alarming rate. Now, social media is the #1 tool of law enforcement, and actually playing Law and Order SVU, it's giving me a lot of insight on how the cops operate. Truthfully, the cops couldn't operate without things like social media and snitches. They really need somebody to tell, because they starting an investigation and they don't know. All you gotta do is watch First 48. Them motherfuckers, they don't have video, they don't have nothing. They just got people telling.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm here to tell, because I said on another podcast, I actually have about 4 or 5 years of my life unphotographed, where my crew was like, we are not taking no pictures. Don't take no pictures. And one of my boys got busted with a picture of us with a bunch of guns and shit. And they held him all night. He tried to tell them, no, those are prop guns. They like bullshit. Because we stupid. We post up with machine guns and all this kind of shit. What the fuck is that picture for?
Right.
What is that for? Who are you showing that? What is that? Why? You got all the drugs and the money and shit. What is that picture for? It's like taking a picture. You just took a shit, right? And turn around and taking a picture of the shit. Who the fuck are you finna show this picture to? And so that whole theory of bragging on that life and shit while you're active. Now, people say, well, Ice, you talk about it. Well, there's a thing called statute of limitations. The only thing that doesn't have a statute is murder and forcible rape. I am not a rapist, and I ain't kill nobody. So, therefore, I could speak. But then niggas in jail, my boys is like, be careful what you talking about, even about the past, because we still in here fighting it.
All right.
You up here telling what you did, but we fighting it. They know we was friends, so even if you ain't saying our name, so I had to really tone that down.
Right.
About even talking about my past. So you got to be careful, man.
For sure. For sure. I mean, being considered one of the godfathers of gangster rap, and seeing what the game has evolved to from the moment that you came into the door to now. Like, do you ever feel some type of responsibility for how these young cats wilding out? Have you ever felt any guilt for that? Or
I did a record called God Forgive Me, which I speak on that. You know, like how we created a genre, gangster rap, and it moved across the country. If you get a chance, Google it. It's called Ice-T, God Forgive Me. It's me, Papa LQ, another kid named SLJ, and myself, and it talks about how gangster rap was born, and it started to move across the country, moved to New York City. When you start something, you really don't really know where it's going to end up. And I was see, it all started with me. I was writing raps for the gangbangers at Crenshaw High School in 1975. And I would write rhymes. This is before hip hop. And I would write rhymes for the gangs just to entertain these niggas. I'm not a gang member, right? But I went to a school that had Rolling 60s, 8-Tray Gangsters, Hoovers, Hoover Crips, Rolling 60s, 8-Tray Gangsters, and Harlem Crips. So to keep these niggas in act, I would make rhymes for these niggas, like, you know. So what's your rap name?
HB.
So I'm saying HB. So HB, you the big homie. I mean, you like, nigga, say something in my, put my name in your rap. You know what I mean? So I just make a rhyme for you, right? So I'm writing these these are real gang rhymes. Like, here He's like strolling through the city in the middle of the night. Niggas on my left, niggas on my right, yelling "Rip" to every nigga I see. If you bad enough, come fuck with me. I seen another nigga, I say Crip again. He say fuck a Crip, nigga. This is Bram. So we pulled out the Roscoe. Roscoe said crack. I look again, nigga was shooting back. So we fell to the ground, aimed for his head. One more shot, nigga was dead. Walked over to him, took his gun, spit in his face, and began to run. So if you see another nigga laying dead in the street and a puddle of blood from his head to his feet, hope it's time you bitch ass niggas get hip that it's fuck a Brim, nigga. This West Side Crip. Now I'm making this, and the Crip niggas like, yeah, nigga, say another one, cuz. So now I knew how to do that. Now hip hop comes, I'm like, I know how to rap. I didn't even know I was rapping, but I know how to rap. But when I started,
you was rapping.
But when I started, it's like hustler toasting.
Right.
But when I started rapping, I was rapping like New York niggas. I was battle rapping. I was rapping Dog in the Wax, You Don't Quit. And then Schoolie D made a record called PSK, right? PSK, we making that green. People always say, what the hell does that mean? But PSK stands for Parkside Killers, a Philly gang. So now I'm sitting back in LA like, this nigga rapping about gang shit. That was a green light. Like, I didn't think nobody wanted to hear that shit. I felt gangster rap was similar to us with no cameras. Like, the gangster rap shit is I would do for the homies, but never for the public.
Yeah.
You got it? It was like rapping about our criminal activity. So when they did that, I was like, word? So one of my boys, Randy Mack, he's Van Ness boy, he a blood. He's like, nigga, you need to say that shit you be saying. Nigga, like that shit you be saying. Fuck that old rap hip hop shit. Nigga, say that shit you be saying, right? So we made 6 in the morning. And when we made 6 in the morning, it's just an experience of a kid running from cops in the morning, a whole night of shit, running around, going to jail, getting out, stabbing, shanking. And that shit hit. And that shit hit. And that was the birth of gangster rap. That was the birth. Now, they didn't have the term gangster rap yet, and I didn't invent that. That term came from Ice Cube. So when Ice Cube did 2 years later, Straight Outta Compton came out, and he said, Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, from a gang called Niggas with Attitude. The press said it's gangster rap. And Ice-T said, well, then I'm the original gangster. And that's where OG came from. But my music, to me, has always been a lot more player than gangster. Personally, that's how I felt. Because I'm not a gang member. Right. But it was more the gangster of the street hustler. That gangster, you know, right. Versus the gang banger.
For sure. Listen, man, I'm finna put y'all on game today, right? I'm down here in South Carolina, man. Lucky Diamonds, man. Everything real, everything authentic. I'm talking about real BBS. I'm talking about real big boy shit. Super Bowl rain, real rapper change, man. And listen, you ain't walking right. Probably because you ain't been to Lucky, man. If you ain't talking right, probably because you ain't been to Lucky. Man, if your shit can't get hard, man, you need to go to Grady. The Diamonds is not gonna help you, bro. But
see, Lucky Diamonds, you know what I mean? If you want your shit to hit in the dark time, no lights on, your shit gonna hit. Big Cubans, big rings, whatever you need, we got it on deck.
Yeah, that's it.
Come with the right check also. Don't play with us.
Hey man, pull up that goddamn check, man. And listen, when you pull up with that check, use the promo code Money Machine HB, man. 10% off anything, man. Everything authentic. I mean, talk about being in the first somewhat beef I ever recall in hip hop history for me.
LL
was you and LL Cool J, man.
Wasn't no beef, really. You know, really, it was just me trying to be known on the West Coast. That's all it was. LL was hot. LL was outperforming me, and LL was the GOAT, and he said he's the best of history. I'm coming out of LA. I got the whole West Coast on my back. I had to just say, I don't think so.
Had to.
That's the culture.
Right.
That's the culture. So, you know, I dissed him on I'm Your Pusher, and he got back at me on the Break of Dawn, and then we just squashed it. It was like, it was never any violence, never any threats of violence. It was kind of like, it was rap beef. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And he got more into it with Kumo D. Him and Kumo D went back and forth, and then he went in at it with Cannabis and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But mine was just one round. It was like a diss. I dissed, and he wrote back. He replied, period. And we cool now.
That's what's, hey man, that's how it's supposed to end, bro. It's art, man. It's art.
Yeah.
And people don't realize when they back and forth and they beefing, like really shedding light on each other, and you helping him sell albums, he helping you sell albums. They really.
Well, hip hop at its core is competitive.
Right.
You have your 4 elements of hip hop: your DJing, your break dancing, your rapping, your graffiti, and everyone will say my crew's better, my DJ's better. So that's part of the culture.
Indeed. I mean, I hear a lot of successful people speak on having mentors as a important piece and taking that step in the next direction. Would you agree that's a fair assessment? And who do you consider to be one of your mentors in this game?
See, that's a problem, right? Like, I don't have any real mentors as far as music goes. My mentors were cats in the street, and those cats were older cats. And they basically said, get out.
Right.
They were older cats that was like, hey man, this ain't for you, young blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure a way out. So I know I mentor a lot of people now, but wisdom comes from taking licks. Like, I've had so many, like they always say, success is kind of like being pregnant. Everybody says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. So I've been through a lot of shit, so I have that experience that, like right now I meet you, I don't know you well, but I'm not a manager, I'm not an agent, but I'm a consultant.
Right.
So if you run into a problem, you can say, hey man, Ice, what you think? And I'll give you my opinion. And it might come from a different lane that I'll say, no. This could happen, this could happen, and this could happen. You say, thank you. That's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But mentoring it can help you so much. It can help you so much because having somebody that can help you avoid potholes in this game is exceptionally helpful. We didn't have anybody. We didn't know about publishing. We didn't know about anything. We just was blindly. You gotta remember, hip hop is kids. You're looking at people like from down in Atlanta, Crisscross and them. I mean, how old are they? Like 15, 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
How the fuck do they know about the record business? You know what I'm saying? And their parents barely can read a contract. You don't know what, so you have to lawyer up. You got to get an accountant. A lot of rappers don't get an accountant early in the game, and they used to making street money, but all rap money is on the books. So you got to pay taxes. There's things I remember the first time I had to pay taxes. I'll never forget it. I was nigger rich, so I had like $150K in the bank. I had a new car. I had just bought a crib. I thought I had a little cash bank. I thought I was, nigga rich.
Right.
Not $1 million, $150K, cash.
150 in the hood is
good. It's good, right? I'm coming up. So I get a call from a manager. He said, yo, you got to pay taxes. I'm like, what do you mean pay taxes? When you have a job, they take taxes out. Oh, no, you a LLC now. This is during Ryan Pay's days.
Right.
I was like, word? Now, when I was hustling and stealing, I had 300,000, 500,000, but we blew through that because that's hustling money, and you fuck that shit off as fast as you get it because you feel like you can hit another lick. It's a fucked up mindset. So hustlers out there know if you hustling, I know you wish you held on to some of that. So anyway, this is legit money. So he said, yeah. I said, well, what do I owe the IRS? That nigga said $135,000. Which left me with 15K. And I said, wait a minute, 135,000. He said, when does that due? He says, due now. I said, how do I got to pay it all at once? Then he said, are you driving? No, first he said, are you driving? He told me to pull the car over in the park. Then I was like, fuck that. They gonna put me in jail like that. He said, call me back tomorrow when you calm down.
Damn.
So I calmed down and I ended up writing a check.
Damn.
And since then, we won't even talk about how much money I paid in taxes. You'll sit up on a year, and that's how people understand your wealth. Like, you can say, oh, I got a lot of money, but from the systems, they're like, well, how much did you pay in taxes? That's how they determine how much money you got. Did you pay $2 million in taxes? Well, then maybe you made $4 or $5 million.
Right.
But if you claiming you made that money and you ain't pay no taxes, nigga, you ain't really made that money.
Yeah, somebody adding up.
Yeah, so I've had to learn the hard way. Taxes are part of this legit game, and I don't think anybody likes them.
That's nasty, man. You know, a lot of us not taught that, man. So on top of the fact that you spending so much in taxes, on top of being surprised, man, it's tough, man.
Well, see, the thing with taxes is, and we just went into some other shit, but if you don't own nothing, they can't take nothing. So if you don't own nothing, so it only comes into play when you finally get your home. Like, you got a house and now you actually have some material things. Now they can leverage against you because they can take it. But if you don't got nothing, they kind of, and they cold. The feds will just wait on you to have something. They'll wait. They'll be like, now he owns some assets, so let's go talk to him. Let's put a lien on some shit.
So yeah, that's cold, man. I mean, you spoke on Law and Order. You've been doing that 24 years now, and
how the fuck did that happen?
Hey, man, you big blessings, man. I mean, it 24 years, and a lot of people, I think, if people watch it, they may know that a lot of the stories are based off true stories. And you just knowing that, is it any story that particularly stick out in your head where you had to act it out and you like, damn, this shit is disgusting?
Let's start off this with Law and Order. I only went on there to do 4 episodes. So, you know, the show stuck. People liked me, and I've just been, you know, found a lane where I liked it. It's legal. It's cool. Music-wise, I was touring 250 days a year. Now I got a family, I got a house, I can go home, I go to work. So I like it. So it was the right time for Law and Order for me. Now, as far as your question goes, yes, anything that deals with children bothers me. I got a daughter, and I just have a real distaste for child molesters, pedophiles, all that shit. You know, most people don't even understand what pedophilia is. Do you know what the definition of pedophilia is?
Not exactly.
It means that you're into prepubescent kids. You want something before puberty. What kind of sick ass weirdo shit is that? So when you say a pedophile, you're talking to me about the scum of the motherfucking earth. Like, who the fuck fucks with children? Like that. You know, gangster, whatever. That shit irks me.
Nah,
that shit irks me. That's why when the motherfuckers go to prison, they get dealt with.
Right.
You know, so those stories bother me. Yes, yeah. You know, Ice-T, tough Ice-T. Yeah, kids. There's no gray area with that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the stories on Law and Order is extensive, bro. Like they really go in, and I look at it and like I see the based on the true story at the beginning, and then I see the story. I'm like, man, I hope all this shit not true. Like,
now some of it's fucked up, and you know, us being sex crimes, and you know, honestly, you asked me earlier, like playing the police. This cop I'm playing is chasing rapists and pedophiles, and they don't even like them in prison.
I can go for that.
So I can fuck with that.
Yeah, I can fuck with that too, my guy. For sure. I mean, man, we were talking off camera before the interview actually started. Man, you spoke on being married for 22 years now, man. I mean, in an era where divorce is so prevalent and dividing the family so much, what do you feel like has been your major reason for being able to maintain your family and be able to keep everything solid with so much going on?
First off, you gotta want to be married.
You gotta want to be married.
You gotta want to be married. And I've been down the road. I've done all my shit. I didn't get married till I was 42. So I had already, like my boy said, nigga, you done had more pussy than football team. I already got that out of my system. I did my thing. I was rock star. I ran and shit. And I was with my other girl, Ice's mom's, for 17 years. Never got married, but You know, when I met Coco, it was time. I was like, they say when a woman meets the right man, it's the right time. When a man hits the right time, he'll be ready for the right woman. And we as men know, we know when we're not done. And I always ask guys, you got married, are you done? You know what I mean, are you done?
For sure.
And sometimes you say, yeah, nigga, I'm done. I'm done. And then you have to pick the right woman that's going to be able to keep you turned on, going to be able to make you happy, that's going to make you want to stay in the motherfucking house. And it's funny, my boys was like, we love Coco for 2 reasons. 1, she keeps this nigga in the house. And 2, this nigga ain't going to jail and leaving her out here. So we know he's safe, and at the same time, you know, you got to find a woman that's like, yo, you got to want to be married. And I always say, when you marrying somebody, it's like casting for a movie. You have to find somebody who's ready for all the scenes, the fun scenes, the party scenes. There's going to be times as a man where you're really down. You're down. You ain't got your mama no more. You got your woman. Your woman got to be able to hold your head when you in those moments, in your weakest moment. And she's gonna have moments where she's down, and you got to be there for her. So it's really a relationship's emotional support. Y'all gonna have moments where y'all fighting, but at the end of the day, like I always say, me and you could be homies, but we could fight, but are we enemies? See, there's a big difference when you become an enemy. An enemy, now I'm out to hurt you. I'm out to fuck you up. So sometimes you can fight the homies, but you ain't enemies yet. You just mad at each other. So you have to distinguish where it goes. You know, now it's a lot of times when people are breaking up, they turn into enemies.
Yeah.
They turn into real enemies. You like, really?
Yeah, for sure.
And I've heard it said that you really don't know who you're married to till you breaking up. Then you really see who the fuck they really are. So I'm not really trying to break up. I'm in a happy marriage. I love my wife. We've had our ups and downs, but you know, we love each other. At the end of the day, we want to be together. And we got a beautiful daughter. And one of my boys say, rest of the way out. I'm like, yeah, rest of the way out. This is who I'm with for the rest. This is my plan. Now, hopefully, that's her plan. Hoping that's her plan. But the big question, man to man, is, are you done, nigga? And I never got married if I was planning on running around and wilding. I wouldn't gonna take that oath, you know.
Right.
But I'm cool. I'm very, very fortunate and happy. I got a beautiful wife, beautiful kid, and I need to be inside, man. And nowadays, the game has changed tremendously, man. You out here with these chicks, man. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I'm off the playing field.
WWE, WWE and WWF, brother, for sure. So I read a crazy statistic the other day, man. They say in 2018, they did a tally of the 100 most richest women in America. 98 of them actually received their fortunes through divorce.
I believe it.
So, and knowing and along with the fact that divorce is rising higher and higher, like what incentive? You had a son. Like what incentive would you tell him he had in being married when essentially it's done like a Ponzi scheme?
Well, the thing of it is that, you know, if you really got a lot of money and you're gonna get married, yes, you need a prenup. You know, you
tell your son that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're financially set,
right,
when you get married. When I got married, I was not on my upstroke. I was kind of like in a mid-range downstroke. Like when music had went through its situation, I was just starting Law and Order, and you know, I was in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? So Coco kind of caught me on my downswing, because as a player, you go through these waves. You know, so I was like in a down wave, right? And so, you know, now she kind of been part of everything I've done. So it's not like I would be handing her over something that she did not deserve. You know what I'm saying? Of course, when you become enemies, you gonna want to fight over every motherfucking thing. I think it's more like if you are a multimillionaire and now you meet a girl that works at Taco Bell and you marry her. And you've already established yourself. She hasn't been there for the grind and stuff. I can see there's a lot of angles on that. But no, they always said men have careers and women have husbands. You know? So it's it's just how the game is set up. You know, a woman is attractive, has a lot more options than guys. You know,
Sure.
so we in that situation. But now, I mean, when my father and mother got married, they didn't even have the thing called a prenuptial. So you could secure your money and your assets, but marriage is mental. Like, we were married. I got married to my wife mentally within 6 months. When we got together, I said, is this what we trying to do? And she said, yeah. And I got her a ring, and we didn't go to nothing. And from that point on, we conducted ourselves as a married couple. But
Wow.
it's up to somebody if they want to do it. I just think that it all depends on how you feel. I'm not pro marriage. I'm not against it. I'm pro, you know, being happy. And I can't tell you what it's going to be for you to be happy. You might need a different bitch every day. That might make you happy. You might need 100 hoes. You know, Kenny Ivey taught me early in the game, one down bitch is worth 10 funky hoes. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
For sure.
it's what's going to make you happy. Here's the problem. What makes you happy today may not make you happy next year. At any moment, she could have a paradigm shift and be like, I'm not happy.
Right.
Because we're humans.
Right.
So you looking for something to lock down and be perfect. Fuck life. It's crazy, but
It's crazy, bro.
at the moment, I'm happy. But one thing I always tell people, I'll end it with this. People always tell me, well, tell me how to do it. I say, I don't know how to do it because I know how to be married to my wife. I don't know how to be married to your wife. I don't know. You know, you can't tell me because you're married to your wife. You're not my wife. So you don't know what it takes to be married to my wife and vice versa. So I try to stall on the advice. I think you just need to, I just don't think a lot of stuff should be public.
Yeah, that shit destroy a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, especially personal things, you have to keep that to yourself. I mean, yeah, everything does not need to put anything personal doesn't need to go on social media.
Man. That seems like the place for it now, man. It's crazy.
I mean, even if me and you are homies, like if me and you are homies and we got problems and we working out, we doing business, I don't need to talk to you right now and then you get on the internet and say, man, I just talked to no.
For real.
You know, now we know we're talking to the public, but everything, no.
Oh God. I mean, who cheats more, Ice, men or women, man?
They think they both equally cheat.
So it's equal.
I think equally cheat, and you know, it's what if you make the decision to do that, you know, you made that decision. A lot of times you'll do it and you'll regret it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a decision. I always say one time could be a mistake. Second time is a decision.
Every time. I'm with you on that. I mean, top 5 actors that you work with. I mean, just being on set with them and looking like, man,
Well, first off, Denzel.
Man, I was just about to Ricochet.
Denzel Ricochet was a great experience. Another person who I worked with on Surviving the Game is F. Murray Abraham, who had just won an Oscar for Amadeus. He was in Scarface.
Right.
He's incredible. Let's see. I worked with Keanu Reeves, John Wick. I did a movie called Johnny Mnemonic with him.
Right.
He's a bad man. He's good. Of course, working with Mariska every day. She's something else. She's a very special actress that got her shit down pat. Working with her is fun because she's effortless with her shit. And then I'll just say, you know, when I did Trespass and I got to work with Ice Cube and all the other peers like that, that was fun too, being out there with all the brothers, you know, that camaraderie we had. That was Walter Hill directing. It was fun.
Right. For sure. I mean, what is it about say a Denzel when you go on set and you like, man, what he doing is amazing? Is the fact that he just remembers everything, or the effort that he's able to put into it? Like,
well, acting is lying convincingly, and you have to be able to play the character so that the other actor believes it. So it helps, you know, if, in other words, if me and you were doing a scene and I was supposed to be whatever, somebody that you were in charge of, when you go to check me, I gotta fall into that place like, man, come on, man, like, and if you feel that, it's gonna help you act, because now, I'm now where I should be with you. Like, come on, man, I'm sorry, I fucked up, and that helps you. So when you were the good actor, they play like when I did the scene with Wesley Snipes in New Jack City, where he said he killed my mama.
You pulled him out throw him out the balcony and shit.
No, when we were on the roof and he talked the story about I walked up and I took the angel dust and I shot her.
Yeah.
Well, for me to react to that, I gotta believe it. He say that shit like, man, nigga, you really did that. So now that allows me to react. So a lot of times when you're not acting, you're reacting. So a good actor can convince you of whatever the fuck they pretending to be, they are. So if you on Law and Order, when you roll up on me, when I come at you as the police, you gonna say this nigga really is the motherfucking police, because I'm jacking you and I got all that attitude. So and then it's knowing your lines, and it's just being able to. It's like making music with somebody, man. It's like making music. If we go in the studio and you flowing and you in there, and then you get with me and I'm uptight, I need 100 punches and I ain't got my shit together, my rap's whack, and you like, nigga, you finna be on my track?
Right.
Or another nigga walks in there and like, woo, and he might bring your game up. You like, whoa, this nigga's really dope. You know what I'm saying? So you know dopeness when you around it.
Indeed. I mean, of all the entertainers, man, after 40 years in the game, you've seen a lot of people come and go throughout this journey, man. I mean, what do you feel like is one of the biggest losses that we've taken?
Oh my God.
In the entertainment industry, period.
Well, hip hop, of course. You start with Biggie, Pac, Big L, all the different people of hip hop that were died unexpectedly.
Right. They
were killed. They didn't die. Then you got people like Michael Jackson and Prince that were my idols growing up, same age as me. And now how do those superstars they're gone and I'm still here? So it's my mama used to say when she was alive, everybody you knew through their problems up in the air in a room, you'd reach for yours on the way down. It's like you might admire people, but you don't want to be them because you don't really know
what their problems are
and where their life is headed.
Right.
I mean, I was there when I saw Biggie open for Craig Mack. He was the opening act, and now Biggie's passed. And I seen Pac when Pac was dancing with Digital Underground, and he's gone. So I'm just like living my life, and I'm just happy I'm still here, and you just blessed, man. We don't know. I say you don't guide life, you ride life, man. And a lot of these people, they're gone way, 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 way too soon.
Indeed. I mean, what do you feel like has contributed to your longevity? Like the best trait that's allowed you to stay around so long, man?
I think just being humble and being aware of how easily this could be taken away from me, and not letting it go to my head like I'm special.
Yeah.
I'm just fortunate y'all like what I say. I'm fortunate that the records I make, some people like them. I'm fortunate that I'm still here, considering all the risks I took in life and how I somehow didn't go to prison. And I'm just blessed that, and just staying humble about it, man. Like not getting carried away and start thinking you're special or you're somebody that is something. Now it's okay for you to think that. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. No, as a friend, man, Ice, you this, you that, this. Okay, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. But when you start thinking about it like you're something special, and you wake and you get that Tony Montana mentality, and then you start thinking motherfuckers should bow to you and kiss your ass and all that old weirdo shit, and it's the start of the ending, So I'm lucky. I'm lucky you like me.
Okay, man. I'm honored to be here.
You know what I'm saying? No, but you know that's the thing. You gotta and you know what it is? Hate is so fucking out there. You have to embrace love. Like when you finally do meet a nigga that like you, you gotta say thank you, because motherfuckers is hating at a At alarming rate. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is watching this and then sat through an hour of this and they hate me. Like what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Why would you sit through all this? But they'll pick apart something you said and they'll determine. One thing about a hater is if they hate you, nothing you say is funny or nothing you say is smart, because they've already determined they don't like you.
For sure. For sure. I mean, seeing Chris Rock go from Pookie to the Chris Rock, man. I mean, what was the energy seeing him on set of New Jack City, man? Did you?
We were young, man. We were the unknown rapper. I mean, the unknown rapper, really unknown, the newest up and coming comedian.
Right.
You know, I had sold a few million records, so they figured like maybe this will translate into acting, because they didn't have enough young black actors to make New Jack City. Wesley had only done a couple movies, so they didn't have a whole, like now you can do Black Panther. You got enough black people that's all through acting. But back then there were not that many young black actors to make that movie. So they said, well, maybe the rap people will translate. And Chris Rock is, you know, young comic. Me and Chris are like this for life. Wesley is like this for life. We bonded over that movie. And like I said, how often is one of your movies, your first movie, gonna be considered a classic?
Man,
you know,
classic, man. I mean, just seeing the shit that Chris went through with Will, man, and seeing how that played out. He just actually spoke on it on the on the Netflix deal this week. I mean, just seeing how that played out, man. You feel like Will was justified in that shit? I
can't really comment on that in a correct way, because I'm friends with Chris, I'm friends with Will. And the thing of it is that was just an ugly situation. That was ugly. It's just, I think it was just an emotional reaction. It was just an emotional reaction. Now, if that thing had happened and it wasn't at the Oscars, it wouldn't have made news.
Right.
If it had happened backstage, it wouldn't have made news. But the fact that it went down at the Oscars, I don't know if you could draw an emotional reaction out of me at the Oscars to get me to stand up. So he was on something different.
Yeah.
For a nigga to say, yo, right now, right at the Oscars, you know, Oscars, it's the Oscars, you know what I mean? It's bigger than the Grammys. And to just say, I'm just going to go in automatic pilot, but we do black out, and niggas black out, and I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened.
Man, Will went up there and smacked him like he was fighting for his relationship. Like, that shit was about to end. I got to pull something off. This nigga done said something about my girl, and we on the string right now. Let me go ahead and slap this thing, man.
I don't know. Now, Chris Rock's reply was very interesting, where he said, you know, he smacked somebody he knew he could fuck up, you know. Would Will have smacked Mike Tyson?
Fuck no.
See what I'm saying? So it's just too weird and stuff. But you know, how we say it was an ugly situation that went down. You know, street niggas like, oh yo nigga, I would have did this, I would have done that, I would have did this. I just really don't know how that just got ugly. You know, it got ugly. Let's just call it that.
It was, man. Hey, man, I admire Chris for maintaining his composure.
But see, now some niggas will be like, oh, that's soft, nigga. I would have fucked Will up. You know, it's like, yo, like that shit was, that's like a fight at a wedding. Like, you know, like, or a nigga's fighting at a funeral. Like, certain places, this shit's not supposed to pop off like that. But, hey, you know, well, I know Chris Rock, being a friend of mine, he spoke on it. He held his tongue and he just made $40 million off of it.
Man, come on, man. That's why I said, bro, that, you know, people looked at it, and I knew how, you know, when it initially happened, I said, man, if he can maintain his composure, he'll end up coming up off of this situation.
He did.
He did. For sure.
And that wasn't and another thing, even the comedy special, that was a small part of the comedy special. That was just one little segment. He would say that to the end. But, you know, I know people were watching it waiting. You know, because people love conflict, people love negative shit. You know, we're as humans, we're thirsty for that bullshit.
Thirsty for the bullshit. For For sure. I mean, talk about the upcoming projects you got, man. What should we be looking forward to, man?
Well, one thing we're here promoting is the book, Split Decision. We should have it in the car, but that's the book I just released with my partner. It's a story about two guys, me and my partner, Spike, who's my crimey. It talks about how we met and how we were doing jewelry store robberies in Los Angeles over a period of about 5-6 years. I never got caught. He went to prison twice. And when I decided I was going to get out of the game, I made an announcement to the homies like, I'm done. I'm not breaking the law no motherfucker more. Don't talk to me about anything criminal. Consider me bugged. Consider this car bugged. Don't say nothing about anything you're doing because I'm about to step out. And they did like this. We got you, Ice. Good luck. Because they knew I had a little rap career started. And I didn't want to potentially incriminate them by hanging around me with the bullshit. But he decided he needed to go try to hit one more lick. Hustlers feel like that. Well, I can stop, but I just need X amount of dollars in the bank. I need to have a little war chest, and then I'll quit. And he sent 2 crews on licks, and during the course of one, somebody got murdered. And they gave him, they tried to give him a life sentence as a mastermind. News blast, if you tell somebody to go do something and they do it, you'll get more time than them. That's a mastermind clause. That's what Charles Manson got.
Mastermind clause.
Yeah, because you set the crime in motion. They was minding their business. You say, go knock this nigga off for me, whatever. You get the crime. They like, shit, I didn't have it in my mind until he told me to do it. So you will get more time than the actual shooter.
Whoa.
So he ended up getting 25 to life with a 10-year enhancement. So he 35 to life. He did 26 on it. And when he came home, he wanted to write a book. So I said, let's write a book together. Whoa. Showing people that one decision can change the trajectory of your life. And it's a good book. You should read it, get a chance. If you into me, it'll give you a better understanding of who I really am before music and how I was able to transition and get out of it to where, right now I'm square as a pool table, twice as green. I won't even take toothpicks from a restaurant, man. Then they free, nigga. I don't fuck around. I'm not slipping up and getting caught back in that bullshit, And that I have another thing on a podcast called Ice-T's Daily Game, which is on Apple. Well, it's on all podcasts. It's done by iHeartRadio, where every day you go there and I drop some knowledge, like what I just say, one down bitch worth 10 funky hoes. Here's another one. Like, if you feel like you're going in circles, probably because you cutting corners. You dig? So it's daily game like that. Jewels that we say on the street. I do one every day, and that's on iHeartRadio. Just go to Spotify or wherever, and just put in Ice-T's Daily Game, subscribe, and they pop up.
Ice-T's Daily Game, man.
Daily Game. And just doing Law and Order, trying to get to the 25th season. I got some other things I'm working on, but honestly, H, I don't talk about things because sometimes talking about things prematurely jinx them.
Oh, man.
Am I right?
Man, you so right, man. And I feel like by doing it, we allow other people to put their energy and their fears and their insecurities into what we doing, man. I think that's important as hell, man.
One player told me, he said the key is you slam the door on the way out of the deal. Not talking about I'm going in and might get this deal. No, once you sign a contract and you got that bread, boom, yeah, I just finished this deal. I just locked this in. So if you watch a lot of players in the business, they won't ever really go into detail. They'll say we have things in the works.
For sure.
Even my friends like, hey man, I got something in the way. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'll let you know when it's locked. When it locks, then they celebrate. They pop the champagne. We call it premature popping the champagne, like premature ejaculation. You done popped the champagne too soon, nigga. Right. That check did not clear.
Good bars, man. Hey, man, it's the legendary fucking Ice-T, man. It's Backseat Freestyle. I mean, name something that the people would be surprised to know about you.
I'm not violent. I'm not a bully. I'm not a tough guy like that. I'm more of a a survivor. You know, I'm an orphan. I'm not a gang member. I grew up in South Central. I had to navigate that shit. So people are Wise T tough. I'm not really tough. My friends say, well, you just don't back up well. So that's really just where my gangster is. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not pushing nobody. But when someone says, well, you gonna do this, or this is what that, we don't do that. Because I don't have a family. I have nowhere to back up to. Right. What I'm gonna do? You know, I have to stand my ground, so I've been standing my ground my whole life. Other than that, I play video games, and right now my life is really based around my daughter, my 7-year-old, which has really given me a new lease on life, a reason to live, a reason to be, you know, here.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. You know, I'm not here. Here you go. Here the book.
Oh yeah, the book, man.
Split decision. You know, but I don't know, man. I mean, nowadays, you know, it seems like I'm pushing positivity, but I think
pushing P.
Yeah, I'm pushing that, man, because if we really keeping it real, why would I push a nigga down a road I know is definitely not gonna win when I know that that's a negative road? You know, I mean, it's cool when you coming out, yeah, we gangster, we tough and all that old shit, but when you see the results of that and you see what's happening, I'm not gonna push that line no more, because that negativity comes back on you, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I might still do some hardcore records and talk a little shit here and there and this, that, and the bullshit, but really, if you hang around me, it's peaceful.
Indeed.
It's peaceful.
You still feel like Soulja Boy single-handedly destroyed hip-hop?
Soulja Boy.
No,
you know, let's have some fun with that question. You know, it was just a moment in hip-hop where it was getting into ringtones. And there was a point in hip-hop when the hook was the whole record. They just sung the whole hook over and over again. And to a rapper like me, all we want to do is hear you rap. That's it. Just like I just heard you spit. That's all. I'm not going to judge you. You wrote some bars. That's it. If you're just going to say the same word over and over, and you remember that era.
So.
Yeah, it bothered certain niggas, you know. And being OGs in hip hop, like we just want the culture to stay complex and thought provoking and dope. You know, how you rap, whether you rap like the Migos, or you rap like Kendrick, or you rap like J. Cole, I don't give a fuck. If you rap like the drill rappers, I don't really care. Just rhyme the words, make it complex, make it entertaining, make it thought provoking. So with the Soulja Boy shit, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. And what happened was, I was in the studio getting ready to rap, and my niggas was fucking with me. Nigga, they don't want to hear you, nigga. They want to hear Hurricane Chris. They want to hear Soulja Boy. Them niggas, you know, so that, you know, they poking me, and I'm getting ready to do my bars, and out of nowhere, I'm like, fuck them niggas, right? but I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, that's heavy.
But I just went in talking they bullshit. This some Ice-T stupid shit. I'm just talking that shit. You know, when I go on one, I'll say the worst shit. So so now these my so-called friends took that rant and put it at the beginning of the mixtape.
Whoa.
Wasn't even supposed to be out. That's why I said it was a mistake. So now I got to deal with it. He comes back, Ice, you old, this, that, and the third. And my son is 18. You got to reply, Dad. You got to reply. Yeah. So I said, and I was so not, that was just like not me. It was just, I don't know what I regret all that.
For real?
Yeah, I regret all that, because it wasn't, it made it look like I got up out of my bed and just went in on this kid.
Right.
You know, and that really wasn't what happened. I wouldn't have never just took off. That's not my style, just take off on a nigga. So it seemed like it was out of the blue. Why Ice-T talking shit about this youngster?
Right.
It's not my style, but I got kind of caught because I was talking shit in the studio and you know, but I don't know. It was kind of like,
Hey man, spur of the moment, man. Get like that.
Yeah, you say some shit. So, you know, neither here nor there. I don't wish bad on that kid and, you know, whatever.
No, I actually respect this hustle, man. I think during that time when you said that, though, it was like, I kind of feel what Ice saying, because I like niggas to get lyrical. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as far as his hustle and
yeah, exactly. But I had it wasn't about that. It was more or less why Ice-T is okay. He's a made nigga. He doesn't have to prove nothing. Why is he addressing this kid? So I understand the people that was mad at me for that. But it went down different than they think.
Right.
You know, nigga jumped up out of his bed with his Gucci robe on and just fuck this young nigga. Like, you know, like why? What would promote that? That's why it looked bad.
For sure. Nah, it's all good, man. Much respect with me, Ice, for sure. I mean, when it's all said and done, man, what do you want the people to take away from seeing the total evolution of Ice-T, man?
That we can evolve. That's it. I want everybody in the hood, in the mud, like I say, to know that anything is possible. It sounds cliche, but don't limit yourself to street hustles. Don't limit yourself to think that all we could do is sell dope or this, that, and the third, or the white man got his foot on our neck and we can't win. No, you can. Look at me. Look at 50 Cent. Look at Jay-Z. Look at Puffy. Look at all these other moguls that have pulled themselves up out the dirt. Dre, Snoop, Gangbanger, all this shit. It can happen. You just have to refocus what you want to do. You have to refocus and pick lanes that don't have a penalty. I was taught a hustler, this is what I taught with my OGs, is trying to get paid by the path of least resistance.
For sure.
Okay, 25 to life sounds like resistance to me, don't it?
So
let's duck that.
Right.
And let's pick a lane that does not have those particular penalties connected. Even if you were selling cocaine, motherfuckers say, well, I sell weed, it's less. Okay, that's a smart decision. Let's move some weed. That's a smart decision. But then there's another decision where you can move legal weed. You see? So I'm opening up a dispensary out here in New Jersey. So there's a lot of more legal. I just always noticed, like, we was hustling and you go to your attorney, he got on a Rolex and he looking at your jewels. You know why? Because he know he's gonna get them. He knows you gonna catch that case and he's gonna have that. You gonna have to sell that watch and he's gonna send his kids on spring break. He ain't gonna tell them to do what we do.
Right.
But he'll never tell you stop, because you his money. So he's waiting on you to catch that big case and all that little material shit you got is going to get sold. So I had to learn the hard way that, well, I didn't really learn the hard way. I watched my friends learn the hard way. And as they went under, they would tell me, Ice, do not come here, man. This ain't no place for no player. Prison is for losers. You got a chance. You got an opportunity. Make the most out of it. And I've done it. And now my life, I'll just end it like this. I said this before. My life has really been like a nigga that was running down this road. And this road is a hustler's road. And I'm thinking I'm going to get it. It's got bitches, it's got money, it's got drugs, it's got everything. And I'm running down this motherfucking road full speed trying to hustle my motherfucking ass off as a young nigga. But when I got to the end of the road, it's a cliff. And I'm watching niggas just go off the cliff. Life sentence, LWOP, this, that, and the other, death. Now, Ice-T is the nigga that turned around on that road, and I'm running back up the road at you saying, don't go that way. Don't go that way, nigga. Listen, play attention. And y'all niggas want to run by me like, nigga, you corny, you square, you old. And I'm telling you, that's not the way. So you pay attention if you want to. But that's what really I am. I'm that nigga that's willing to say, that's not the way. All right. And I know firsthand from all the friends I have in penitentiary, all my friends that I've lost to the game. And I couldn't sleep at night if I would have let you go down there without at least warning you.
Nah, man, that's the righteous thing to do as an OG, man. That's to provide that guidance, man. That's what you're still here for, bro.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. Hey, man.
Hey, this has been fly though. I like the concept.
Now what we have here is the third generation recipe that somehow made it into your dining room. The family secret is out of the bag now, honey, and we place it into a bottle. Last time I checked, all bad bitches love seafood. Mama Val's Seafood CP.
Hey, let me say a rhyme. Ready to say a rhyme?
Shit, my man, come on.
Here, on that level, right here. Here go one. I spent my life between the light blue lines of loose leaf.
Yeah.
I spent my time between impressionable minds and true beef. I spend my days up, nights up. It's too hard to sleep. Look at my face. It's not the one of someone at peace. I carry guns and I don't need to. But my mind's so fucked, I see assassins coming out of the rough. I keep my doors locked, windows shut, shades down, 4 pound, waiting for some Satans who may think of invading. Now when I do sleep, I dream about pain and unrest, about gunfights and dum-dums exploding my chest. I see my boys that have died sitting with me again. When I wake, I realize I lost most of my friends. Will my past come back to get me? Will the niggas that we shot come back to wet me? I'm paranoid. It ain't easy when your lifestyle was grimy and greasy. I'm trying to make peace with the karma of drama. God, please believe me. Sometimes you even think that I'd be better off dead. I went to doctors. They stuck probes on the side of my head. They say you're fine. They say you're well. They say you're on TV. I said, I know, but I think somebody's coming for me. If you've seen what I've seen and been what I've been, you know that I've committed the evilest sins. If you knew what I knew and had done what I'd done, you'd lay awake at night and you would trust no one. I got the cars, girls, crib, jewels, cash to the max, but my brain's playing war games. I can't relax. It ain't easy when your lifestyle was grimy and greasy. I'm trying to make peace with the karma of drama. God, please believe me. So I tried to get my life right and teach the youth. I did my days of gang banging, so I worked on the truce. I spit game to the little niggas all that I can, because they admire my style. They like the way that I am. They like the cars, the girls, the big rock rings. I tried to teach them about the pain that the fast cash brings. But no matter what I say, they see the game every day, and the rich is the one that have the courage to play. Get rich or die trying. That's what all of them say. What can I do? I live my fucking life that way. I'm not your role model. My road's too dirty to follow. Every phone call is another case of death or life. I'm trying to struggle with the paradox of wrong and right. And since I live by the gun, will I die by the knife?
Backseat motherfucking freestyle, man. It's the legendary Ice-T, man.
How was that?
Hey, man, listen, man. I'm glad to be here for it, my guy. For sure. Listen, split decision. Ice-T, man. Listen, man. Go grab the book, man.
Might save your life.
For sure. Subscribe to the podcast. What's the name of the podcast one more time, OG?
It's called Ice-T's Daily Game.
Ice-T's Daily Game, man.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for the love.
Hey, man, it's an honor to be here, man. An honor and a privilege, OG.
Respect.
Yes, sir. Backseat Freestyle.
We out.